Most life-saving inventions didn't start with genius. They started with a mistake. In fact, one of the most important safety technologies in your car, phone, and even your buildings exists today because a scientist dropped a glass flask and it didn't shatter. And it only gets stranger from here. Picture a laboratory in 1903. Chemicals, glass bottles everywhere, and a busy French chemist named Edouard Benedictus rushing through experiments. Labs back then weren't exactly safe places. One wrong move and glass could explode into razor-sharp pieces. Basically, one slip away from turning science into a horror movie. One day, Benedictus accidentally knocked a glass flask off a high shelf. It fell straight to the floor. He expected the usual disaster, shattered glass everywhere. But when he looked down, the flask was cracked, but it was still holding its shape. No explosion, no dangerous shards, just a spider web of cracks, like frozen lightning. At first, this might sound normal. Maybe the glass was thick, maybe it was luck. But Benedictus knew something strange had happened. Glass doesn't behave like that. And this is where it gets weird. He checked his notes and realized something important. Earlier, that same flask had contained liquid plastic, a chemical called cellulose nitrate. The liquid had evaporated, leaving behind a thin, invisible film on the inside of the glass. When the flask fell, that plastic layer held the broken pieces together. Instead of shattering into knives, the glass stayed in one piece. By accident, he had just discovered laminated glass. Now here's the wild part. Benedictus didn't immediately turn this into a big invention. In fact, he almost forgot about it. The discovery sat quietly in the background. And nobody expects what happened next. Around that time, a new technology was spreading fast: automobiles. Early cars were exciting and extremely dangerous. When accidents happened, windshields shattered into sharp fragments that caused serious injuries, sometimes worse than the crash itself. One day, Benedictus read a newspaper story about a car accident where people were badly cut by broken glass. Suddenly, the memory of that strange, unshattered flask came back. That triggered something nobody saw coming. Instead of treating the accident as just another tragedy, he saw a solution. If a thin plastic layer could hold broken glass together in a lab, it could protect people in cars. So he began experimenting. He placed a plastic sheet between two layers of glass and bonded them together. When this layered glass was hit, it cracked but didn't break apart. This was the turning point. At first, manufacturers weren't interested. The glass was more expensive, and early cars weren't exactly built with safety in mind. Speed mattered more than protection. But Benedictus kept refining the design, improving the bonding process and durability. Then World War I changed everything. The military needed protective lenses for gas masks and vehicle windows. Suddenly, strong, shatter-resistant glass wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. The moment everything changed came when laminated glass proved it could protect lives under real conditions. After the war, the technology moved into civilian use. By the 1920s and 1930s, safety glass began appearing in car windshields around the world. But the real impact came later. Today, laminated safety glass is everywhere. Your car windshield is designed to crack without exploding. Many buildings use it to prevent dangerous breakage. Even your smartphone screen uses similar principles to resist shattering. Every time glass cracks but doesn't turn into sharp pieces, you're seeing the result of one dropped flask. And here's the bigger lesson. One accident, one moment most people would ignore, but curiosity turned it into something that now protects millions of lives every day. Because sometimes the difference between a mistake and a breakthrough is simply paying attention. And this isn't the only interesting hidden history. Subscribe to CuriosityVault for more hidden stories like this.